All right. Well, hey guys, welcome to the April Masters series. I'm super excited about today. I've actually been waiting for it for a few months at this point, because I saw Katie speak at Inman in New York, and I've basically been fangirling ever since, which is I don't know that I've admitted that to you, Katie, so that's sort of embarrassing, but we'll just go with it. But Katie is like, we hear so much about community marketing and being active in your community. And I always feel like people get up on stages or talk in rooms about the idea of this. But I really have been looking for somebody that embodies their community. And Katie lives and breathes this stuff. I feel like if I were to ever go to her area, I'm definitely going to ask her where to get oysters. She knows all of the cool spots. But I think that why I wanted to have Katie, I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself as well, after I kind of get up on my high horse off of my high horse about it. But what I wanted to have Katie on is because the way that she does it is so genuine, and she's found a way to take something that she loves, which is where she lives, and really build her business off of that simple premise. So Katie, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Thank you for being here, by the way. Just a reminder, guys, before I flip over to Katie, if you have any questions as we're going, drop them in the Q&A or drop them in the chat. I'll kind of be monitoring them, and we'll take a look as we go. But away we go, Katie. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm Katie Clancy. I am the CEO of my team. I like CEO. I just like titles. My team works under a larger brokerage, William Ravis Real Estate on Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And I will give you the quick history. I started real estate in 2006 under the best of circumstances. I planned everything perfectly, and then it all fell to, can I say the S word?
Yes, this is my show. Yes, you can absolutely curse.
Everything fell apart. Just on every level, pieces of my life fell apart. I won't give you the details, but it was real bad. And I was I hit a pretty hard bottom, and I was kind of faced with like that come to Jesus moment. And it was at that moment that I realized, and my mantra became, I will not be defined by what the world does to me. I will be defined by what I do in the world. And, you know, I wasn't a mean or a jerk before that, or mean person, but it became really clear to me that this was the path to happiness and to success. And so I tested it, and it's true. So what I hope that you come away with today is, yeah, you'll definitely have some tactical stuff, for sure. Stuff you can do today, tomorrow, next week. But none of it will mean anything if you don't do it with the right mindset. And that is the bottom line of all bottom lines when we're talking about this stuff. In fact, if you follow my personal, which is fine, go ahead and follow it, Hell Yeah Bacon on Instagram. I posted this morning because I was listening, getting ready to start my day. And I have like 4 different podcasts I rotate between, and I was on Gary V's. So I was listening to it was actually the Tom Ferry show when he interviewed Gary at Agent 2021. And Tom had picked out the 7 big takeaways from it. And he missed the biggest one of all. It was Gary's like mic drop at the end, and Tom completely missed it. And I sum it up in what I said. I don't know how to find it here. Okay, so is what Gary said was empathy, patience, a lot more words in there. These are the magic of the killers of the world, and people don't see it. Tom didn't see it. And I'm just telling you right now, you don't see it, because we are trained as real estate agents to crush it. That's what everybody hears from Gary. Crush it, and then we're going crushing things. And it's like, that's not really what he's saying. And it's not, and so I listen very carefully to what Gary's real message is. And it's not my only inspiration, but that's one place where I just get real validation for my intuitive impulse, which is you have got to be other focused. And for why you've got to be, my comment on here was like, go ahead, y'all keep on like crushing it. I'm gonna be over here working on a legacy. And legacy is not something that you work on instead of money. It's not something that happens after you earn the money. It is the thing that you do and then the money comes. So that's probably the biggest mindset point that you've got to get your head wrapped around. Stop using phrases like objection handlers. I don't even like the word funnel. Like, these are human beings making massive decisions in their lives, and they're trusting you the same way that a woman trusts an obstetrician. It's that personal, it's that important, and there's that much at stake. So that's the big point that we'll start with. I don't know where you're going from there. But
Rob, since Rob is the only man currently on the call, that's a lady doctor, Rob. So I just want to clear that up for you.
Sorry,
I know, I love that. That was good. I think that that's such a good point. So take us through a little bit like of when you started, like you discovered this idea of community content because you basically became other focused. Mm-hmm. So how did you know, okay, like when was kind of this aha moment, like I could incorporate this in my business? And because where I kind of fundamentally disagree, and I don't know that I fundamentally disagree with Gary Vee on this, but when we become other focused, it gives us an opportunity to leverage it and also grow ourselves. Like that's oftentimes when we really begin to crush it. So take us through like that aha moment and kind of how you started crushing it with this.
I'll tell you exactly what it was. I was broke, like less than broke. And I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? I can't send postcards. I can't buy ads. I got nothing. I could hardly afford. I actually was one day where I called my mom, like, Mom, hey, I know I gave you a little stack of business cards. You still have them? Because I couldn't afford to order anymore. I was out of cards. So like I was literally out of ideas. So I thought, well, what do I do if I don't have money? And that's when I discovered social. And so social media, but social media, all that is going out there and engaging with other people, creating relationships, which is the same thing that we do, incidentally throughout our lives. And so I got more intentional about that because I realized the aha was like, oh my God, I can build this. It doesn't have to cost money. Now, yes, of course, you invest money in social, you invest money in being involved in different organizations and whatnot. You can amplify that, but you don't need a dime to be a good person and engage with other people. And that was a huge aha because the freaking sky is the limit. You can do anything. You can be anywhere. You can access anyone. And if you do it with a real sense of giving to that person, it just comes back. It comes back and it comes back. So that was my aha, that I had no money and I didn't need it. I just needed me, my heart, and all those soft skills that I thought were like, I don't know what to do with this in real estate because realtors, they eat their young. So it was kind of funny that I could use this stuff that came so naturally.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us some of the things like social, obviously you're engaging with people, but what are some of the things because I think that you've built it that way, but you've also done quite a bit offline. So take us through some of the things you've done offline in your community around, like kind of centered around the idea of your community, things like that.
Okay. So, I have a talk that I'm working on called Not Your Mother's Board Membership. And it is how to, if you say, well, you should get on a board, you should join Rotary, you should do this, get out there and network. And we're like, I don't have that kind of time to be hobnobbing with, I don't know who, and baking cupcakes for the PTA. I got to go sell a house. So a couple of things. So getting involved in the community specifically, you want to choose where you want to get involved. And you've got to go. Actually, I'm going to back up one step, going back to the mindset thing. For the new agents, really people just coming, ink is just drying on your license. The very first thing that you should do is brand yourself and look it up. We won't go into it right now. Seth's books.
We'll have another class on that, so don't worry, guys.
Yeah. Brand yourself. Find out who you are, because it's way easier to be that than whatever canned version of a real estate agent you think you're supposed to be doing. Because that was the other big aha. I was like, I'm enough. Like, you're into me? Like, someone wants to work with me just because I'm me? Oh, all right, let's do this. So knowing who I was and knowing what I liked and where my passions were. And also, let's be very clear, I also know where my bread is buttered. I know what kind of clients I want. I know what area I want to work in. So I put all of those things into a pile, and I carefully chose where I wanted to be involved. So I'm a member of a church, I just am, but I love that place. So I said, oh, how can I engage with my friends at church in a way that is appropriate, but also lets them know I want to help them. And this is sort of a across the board, whether it's a church or whatever organization you're in. You just go to or talk to the people who have influence there, and just make sure that they know that, listen, so, hey, Alyssa, listen, I don't know if you realize, but I work with a lot of people here at church, time to ask me questions about real estate. I've done business with a few people. And every time I do that, I give part of what I make back to the church. Now, I'm not going to ask Pastor Terry to stand up there and announce it, because that's weird and not cool. But I just want to let you know that, because there's I don't know really how to say that and let people know. But I've actually ended up giving quite a bit of money to the church in other people's names. And that feels like awesome. I feel like Daddy Warbucks, like, here you go. We built a brand new organ, which is like $250,000. I bought a couple of pipes on that organ. Let's just put that out there. But you have to, and here's where the difference is. Because one of the things that we're also taught as real estate agents, build relationship to exploit it. Be very careful about these relationships. This is precious. These relationships, this trust, you need to honor it. So when I say to this person, I'm gonna, whatever, I give some of my money away when I do business here, you got to be willing to let it die right there. You can't count on that person telling one other person on the planet. And that's just the way it is. You just put it out there, let it be, move on. Be attached to this is just a good mantra for sales anyways, be attached to the activity, not the outcome. Do not follow up with that person. Hey, did you tell anybody about what I do? Because then you're a jerk. And then you perpetuate the stereotype that goes around about us people. So go ahead.
I have a kind of a follow-up question for you on that. So I believe that there's a difference between leveraging something and exploiting it. Do you agree with that?
I do. Yes, I absolutely do. And you all need to just listen. Your gut will tell you when you're being skeevy and when you're just being a good business person. Like, that feels a little dirty. Don't do it. Don't do dirty things.
Absolutely.
Just a good rule for life. Anyway, so I looked around. So I was at church anyway. So I said, all right, I'll let people know. So some people know, some people don't. I don't really push it there. So then I said, you know what? In my community, we have a large retired population, and I want to connect with them because they're selling property. They've got property at the price point that I like to sell, and I want to connect with them. So I'm like, well, what are they doing with their time? So I looked around and I was like, oh, they're in this charity. So I looked at this charity and I thought, how do I feel about this mission? Do I like this mission? Am I willing to devote time, talent, and treasure, like money, into this organization? And it's okay if you don't have that much money, figure out what you do have to offer that organization and then, approach. So I did. I found an organization. It's the land trust, the local land trust, which is way more exciting than you think, you guys. Dirt is way more exciting. It's not as sexy as like homeless people or children or dogs, but it's pretty cool environment stuff. Anyway. So,
especially on the coast.
It really is. Listen, the beach is only getting closer, and that's not actually good news.
Yes.
You've got to be around the people you want to be around. You've got to believe in the mission, and you've got to be prepared to invest authentically. And that's what what I also did, which didn't work. which is as important as what does work. Also, because one of my growing edges is putting my face in my finances, I put myself on the finance committee at church. And then I never went to a meeting because I hate that stuff. Ugh. I finally fessed up and was like, you guys, I can't. This is not my jam. I am not serving. I am only taking. Cut me loose. I'll go do something where I can be more helpful. I will join the choir. That's what I'll do. So yeah, there.
So no, I think that what you said, I'm so glad that you admitted that, because you are probably in, whether it's on this call or just realtors in general, you are probably in very good company, because I think a general thing that we do is overextend ourselves. We say, you know, I've got to be more places so that more people can see my face and so that I can build my business. And so I'm going to sign up for this and that and all these things. And my one thing that you said in New York that really left an impact on me is your presence isn't enough. You are constantly essentially interviewing when you're doing these things. So if you sign up to be on a board or the finance committee, I'm going to use you as an example.
Sure.
If you sign up to be on that finance committee and then you aren't giving it your everything, why would anyone on that finance committee ever refer you business? Because you're showing them how you do things. Like
Yep.
that is the biggest mistake that we can make. And so my advice for you guys, and one of the things that Katie did that I'm pulling out of what she said, is when she talked about kind of working with this retiring population, she's evaluating those opportunities in more than one way. So she's not just saying, how can I grow my business doing this? She's saying, that's a price point that I want to be in. I can really connect with these folks. And so she's evaluating it, saying, okay, she's not expecting that outcome, but she's saying, there's a good chance I could potentially get a certain outcome out of this if I do it right. And that's not necessarily the why you're getting involved, but it is going to impact a little bit of the how and the what you're doing.
Yeah, let's not, I'm not going to, beat around the bush. I mean, people join boards partly for networking. It's life. That's real. That's a real thing. Nobody's, wondering why there's an attorney on our board and there's me and there's, someone else. We all are, have to stay current and contribute to our communities as business owners. So I'm not being disingenuous by my participation.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to be sure that I had something to offer. That's actually how the drink came around. A martini.
I know about the drink. Tell them about the drink. The drink is good.
So my partner and I go to a local really cool bar after our closings, and we were going there a lot.
Well, because you were having a lot of closings, or just because you're frequenting the bar a whole lot?
Anyway, so we were there, and yeah, I knew the bartender anyway from other things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We should not protest too much. Anyway, so we would get chatting, and Annie's the bartender, and Annie and I got talking one day after a couple, and we were like, let's make a drink. And so we invented this drink, and it was good. It was really good. And we ended up, I said, let's call this the Cape House Martini. My business is called the Cape House. She was like, yeah, let's do it. But you know what? I even, like, my little voice inside was like, that doesn't feel complete. It doesn't feel complete to just have a drink named after my business at the local bar. It's cool, and a lot of people would stop there. But my heart, it just didn't feel complete. So I said, I know, if people post that drink when they're there, post and tag online, I'll give $5 to the land trust every time they do that. So I win. The land trust wins more than one way. They're not just getting money, but one of their big struggles, which I knew, was bringing down their age demographic. And so now this puts it in front of typically a younger population. This bar is really hip. And so, and the bar does great because we're all posting about it, all talking about it. Heck, it made its way to New York. Heck, it's in an article at Inman.
I love it. I love it. No, that's fantastic. And what I think is, the reason why I love the drink is not only because I like to drink, but it's also because I feel like you took it every step of the way, because what we talked about last week, guys, if you remember, is we talked about, okay, when you're doing something in your community, we've talked about sponsorships in the past, and sponsorships may get you brand awareness. But what Katie's doing and what community involvement really does effectively, and arguably more effectively than just about any other form of marketing that I'm aware of, is it shows what you're capable of. It shows them, like, when you are that good at marketing yourself, you're going to be that good at marketing their home. You're going to be that good at working with folks. You're going to be in all of those places. And that's what will attract future business to you. And that's not to say, you know, you're doing it kind of selfishly. You're still doing these things in a selfless way. You're just leveraging them to say, look, like, we all have bills. We all are building a business here. Like, you should have no shame about putting your name on it when you're creating it, kind of thing. So one of the things I wanted you to talk about is on our prep call, Katie had told me about an event that had happened in her community. And I want you to mention this to the group, because I think sometimes when tragedy strikes or difficult things happen in our community, we want to help because we're human. And we aren't really looking for a way to leverage our business, but we want to just get involved. So how is that? How did you do that? Tell them a little bit about that story.
So it'll be two stories, because
Sure.
one of the other things that that we do is, I realize that everybody on my team is like nuts about dogs. So we're like, let's do something with that. So we started having a monthly dog meetup. So now we have this like dog club, and we just get together, and I wish I had a sample of it. And we just walk or go, and I pick a different like neighborhood, like a cool neighborhood that's beautiful to walk in, or a beach, or a local dog park, or wherever, you know, people would bring their dogs. And we all walk or run around, whatever it is. And then at the end, I fill poop bags with toys. So I fill little poop bags, which I have not branded yet, because I feel a little weird. I'm like, do I want my name on a poop bag? I don't know. So
Maybe get tennis balls. Like, they can throw a tennis ball.
You could, but I do these once a month. So, you know, let's be honest, everybody needs a poop bag. So
sure.
we do. So I fill the poop bag, put a couple of, I really keep it super simple. I put a couple of dog bones in there, and then I put one of my stickers. That's my sticker with my branding on it, which is, I think, kind of cool. I'm very biased, but I think it really stands for the Cape, and it's pretty simple. And the phrase, the Cape House, like, if you live in the Northeast, you know what it is to have a Cape House. And that's your summer house. That's like a phrase like the cool people use. So that's all. That's what we do. And I said, you know what? Let's ramp it up. Let's have beer and pizza. Let's all get together. We're all starting to get to know each other. The community's starting to grow. So I put a little event on the calendar. I thought, I'm hoping maybe 30 people will come and their dogs, and we'll have beer and pizza. And I got sponsors for that. And it's just, that's all, just a small thing. And so 2 weeks ago, you probably saw it on the news, we had an officer killed in the line of duty in Yarmouth, which is, Officer Gannon was my neighbor. And like, it's awful when anybody dies. This guy was just 32 years old, married for a year and a half, just the sweetest person on planet Earth. His wife's amazing. It's devastated us. It's crushed us. And we're all so sad. And I woke up the next morning and I thought, this event, and the event that we have, we were going to give some money to the Animal Rescue League, because why not? And I said, no, I have to change my event. I have to change it. We're going to benefit something to help this family. And so he was a canine officer. So we switched it to, there's a local charity that helps retired canines. So I said, that's what we're going to do. And I put a video right in the morning, very raw, about my choice. And before this call, I was working on it. We have about almost 3,000 people who want to come to our event.
Wow. So you went, I'm sorry, from 30 to 2 to 3,000.
To almost 3,000. Yeah. So it's been shared like 58,000 times. Like, it has grown. We have scads of sponsors. We've got a huge auction that's going with it. It has become, we can't even have dogs at it. It's become so big. There's so many people that we can't have dogs, which is fine. We're going to have a separate dog event, which is going to be great. But and the event has two purposes, because when something so horrible happens in your community, people really need to heal, even if they didn't know anybody involved. It hurt everybody. We all felt it. So so we have two reasons that we're doing it. One is obviously to raise money for this charity. We have, and we're going to, I thought maybe our goal was 25,000. I think we're going to blow that out of the water. But wow. The other purpose, which is almost more important, and this is where I have to realize, because back up. When I put out this thing, I said I was going to do this, I had lots of people say, you know, can I help? And most of my people I brought around were my friends, and a couple people didn't know me. But I said, please come help. And some people were like, you know, this shouldn't be about you. And I was like, it's not about me at all. I am running it though. And it is my event. And I had to ask myself again, ask that little voice inside, like, you in my house, I am running this, but no, it's not about me. Anyway, going forward, lost my train of thought. We have this giant event. It's happening. Oh, the biggest purpose of this event is not about me. That's why I was so offended by that. I'm like, oh, God, no. The big purpose of this event is a healing event, because we all need, like, everybody wants to get close to the family. Everybody wants to get close to the dog that did survive. The dog also got shot, but he survived. Everybody wants to get their hands on these people and this animal, and they can't. And so they're doing everything they can. The police station actually put a sign, please stop sending us food. We cannot eat it. Go to the shelter, go here, you know. And so to the end of healing, we've invited, we will have a collection of retired canines who will be there, so they can see where this money is going, because the Nero, who was shot, I anticipate his retirement is imminent. So he will also benefit from this fund. And we're also inviting the whole staff that cared for him and saved his life. We're inviting the handler who has been taking care of him since, found him in the attic shot, did not leave his side through surgery, through recovery, not for to use the bathroom and eat. That was it. He laid in the kennel with this dog for 144 hours until he knew he was going to be okay. So we're inviting him because people want to get close to him and hug him and thank him and process some of this, have a moment where we can kind of all take one step forward in our recovery from this terrible thing. And so we're keeping that in mind too, that's a really important part of the event. So.
Awesome. No, I think that's amazing, because I think that's something that I think every human struggles with, is our mind immediately goes to, what can I possibly do to help? And sometimes I think we sit the sidelines because we don't want it to appear that it is about us. And what I really loved about Katie's story when she was telling me about this event is somebody did bring that up, and somebody did challenge her on that. And she was able to be honest and say, no, if this was about me, we would have done a different event. Probably. I'm pretty sure you would have done a much different event if this was, and if that was about you. But this is so very clearly not about you. But you're still able to kind of carve out your role as you are the organizer, and this is your name on the line, your money on the line. Yeah. So I do think that matters. And I think that that's something that's absolutely amazing. Your event is when?
May 10th.
May 10th. Is there any way that these folks can donate, like online or something?
Yep. I'm going to, I will find the link and I will get it into the chat.
Awesome.
I can't do two things at once. I'll do
That's okay. Katie will email me the link and I'll get it up onto the dashboard so that you guys can have the link, because I just think this is an amazing cause. We wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you so much. You can, and let me tell you, when I told, so the fund itself is run by retired canine officers who, God love them. They're like, I don't know how their website looks like it's like Craigslist, and he's, you know, they just had this urge to like have this organization, which has been around for years. But they're just a good old towny blue collar kind of thing. And then I showed up And but to see like the president of the organization came to meet me, and like this very stoic guy, like hugging and then hugging again. And I'm like, this is what it's about. Like, this is why we're here. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. I felt like, and you know what else? Just announcing the event, just the idea of it. If only 30 people came, I still took a step. Like, I felt I had done something. Like, cause that's the feeling that everybody has when something terrible like this happens. Like, what do I do? How do I make anything better here? And that it's definitely, without a doubt, therapeutic for me to be doing this.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. So we have on the call, I'm going to go ahead and unmute him. We have Rob on the call. So Rob is one of our MCC members, and Katie and I just don't do a whole lot of things as planned. But one of the things that Katie and I had the idea to do is I said to her, I think a lot of people struggle with this community involvement of seeing these opportunities the way that she sees them, and kind of figuring out where should I be inserting myself and how do I do this? So I had the idea, or Katie had the idea, I don't remember who it was. We had the idea to let's get one of our members to be on the call, and we're going to question him. He's going to be my guinea pig for this. So actually, none of you missed out on an opportunity. You are probably saving yourself by not having to live answer these questions. But one of the things that we're going to do is I want to bring that up because I want you guys to kind of answer these questions for yourselves at home or at the office or wherever you are right now, so that you can utilize Katie's advice and kind of get more involved in your community, see these opportunities, leverage these opportunities to build your business. Because just as I said in our call last week, this is really how good business is done. And when it comes to local expertise, like real estate agents have a handle on it. And we have so much knowledge that we don't realize that we have, that oftentimes we just don't share it. And I think we're really missing a big opportunity there. So I'm going to go ahead. Rob, you're unmuted. Can you hear us?
I can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
So Rob is a good Southern man. So that's
kind of obvious. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So I'm going to go ahead and let Katie take it from here with you, Rob, and ask her questions. And then I'll just kind of interject where I feel like we need somebody to interject. So go ahead, Katie.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say before we get started that I'm having one of those allergy days. So if I sneeze about 100 times in a row, I apologize in advance.
We'll bless you all those times.
It's been one of those days, yeah, but we're hanging in there.
All right, Rob. So how long have you been in real estate?
I am a newbie. I've been a realtor for about 4 months. So I've been an appraiser for 18 years, but I've been a realtor for about 4 months.
Have you lost your damn mind? I'm sorry.
I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest with you.
No, I don't. You're with the right people to have the best chance at success. I'm telling you that. You just keep following what Alyssa's telling you, and you're going to be good. And following your heart. But so I have a couple of questions for you. So.
Okay.
Rob, if you sort of look back at the past week in your life, there's my dog.
Save the dogs.
The dog. Hold on one hot second.
Doesn't like my voice, apparently.
So before Katie comes back, one of the things that I love for those of you that weren't on the call is it really sounds to me or looks to me, especially when she had the red door open, like Katie has joined the cast of Modern Family.
That's my dream, okay?
That
I house that's just like theirs. Shut up. Don't make
I know. I think you might have. So this is Katie's dog, who's going to also join the Masters series. Yeah. So go ahead, Katie. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Look back on the last few days and think about where you spent your time. Talk to me about what were you doing with your time the past week?
Well, as far as work related, or just
wake up in the morning till you go to bed? What are you doing?
Oh, I am dealing with my wife and two daughters and trying to make some money at the same time. So I have been showing houses. I've been doing open houses. I've been doing some appraisal work, and trying to get some sleep too.
I'm breathing. This is insane. Okay. So you've got two daughters. How old are they?
10 and 5.
Oh.
So they keep me busy.
Going outside. So you don't drive anybody around?
Oh, there we go.
Serious? Your dad? You don't drive all over the place?
Oh no, I drive everywhere. Yeah, drive all over the place, taking them to school and dance and basically wherever they tell me to go.
So yeah, you're sort of in that phase of life where they're in charge of you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So so let's look at that. So for instance, your girls are they both into dance?
They are. Oh yeah, we're up there pretty much every night.
Yeah. Sorry. Hashtag I have dance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm broke, because I give all my money to the Dance Institute. Yeah.
All right. So there's opportunity there. So at dance, you've got other parents, you've got the instructors, you've got all of that driving that you're doing. So one of the things that, for instance, you could do is just be the dad that says, you know what? Let's all throw in a buck or two and get the instructors a bottle of wine. They're so awesome. They put up with their kids all the time. And then people go, that Rob, why aren't you more like him? No, but you know what I mean. But like, look for opportunities to give. Look for opportunities to show appreciation for example, for those teachers. By the same token, you've got this group of parents. Are they organized?
Well, for the most part, I think.
Well, I mean, are they formally organized? Is there parents is there a Facebook group of parents?
For the dance, for the dance studio.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, all the mothers like to go drink wine together while their kids are dancing.
So maybe one night you have like a little wine fundraiser, very informal, to help raise money for the girls to get new warm-ups or something like that has to do with wine. But you run it. You're in charge of it. And you have a unique position as a dance dad to get noticed.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You are an exception. And so you're already notable and probably get attention, but now you can be the dance dad that drinks wine. You can be the dance dad that makes it so all the other everybody can come over and have wine, or have an event that's around wine. I think events are a good thing to do because you can keep them small. You can work with a group of people that you already know, and it can just be a thing like, everybody bring one bottle. I'll provide all the appetizers, and we're just gonna have a nice night. Get your babysitting squared away. Here's 10 babysitters that I know in case you need them, because this is adults only. Here's the babysitters. Everybody bring one bottle of wine. Here's your food. Let's just have a good time. Because let's face it, you're going to spend a lot of time with these people, and you ought to get to like them.
That's true.
And my daughter did 7 years of gymnastics, and I did business after she left gymnastics with gymnastics parents, because we sort of bonded together, even though we wouldn't necessarily have connected otherwise. That was really our only connection. But I built trust there incidentally. Imagine if I had worked on it, Oh
yeah. Well, and my wife and I have met a lot of other couples through the dance academy, and also my oldest is in Girl Scouts, and so we've met a lot of couples through that also.
Oh, heck. So a local brewery had a beer tasting pairing beers with Girl Scout cookies. How fun would that be?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Or wine with Girl Scout cookies. If you Google that, wine with Girl Scout cookies, you could do that with the Girl Scout parents.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
What I think Katie does well, and I just want to just leave a pause here just for a second, is Katie's line of questioning, guys, is so important, because what she does is she's not only building that relationship, she's not only establishing that trust and that bond with people and building and maintaining those relationships, she's also showing them what she can do. People people hire you for you. They're not hiring you for your sales. They're hiring you likely because of your story and because of your ability. And even if you're a new agent, what you organizing some of these things can do is it shows people that you've got your shit together. It shows people that like you are capable of this. And if you've got like a unique marketing idea for something, for even Girl Scout cookies, like I think that's a great event that you could be capable of doing. If you put together an event at like Deep River, Rob, which is right in your area, and you can bring kids there, and you bring the kids there to sell Girl Scout cookies, and you put a few beers on tap, and you have an event for an hour, like that's something that shows part of your story. It shows your connection with your daughter, but it also is leveraging your brand. And one thing I know your brand has is koozies. So that's a part. I mean, like, Rob, we just created the event for you. It's perfect. As easy as that. But so Katie and Rob, I'm going to go ahead and mute you because you had some good points. But Katie, walk me through a little bit of your questioning of Rob. I know I walked through some of it, but tell me how somebody just living their day-to-day life can kind of, how can you find these activities that really like you want to be part of that activity instead of just the outcome?
Okay. So first of all, you have to think about who are the people that you're around already. Like, don't make this hard. Let's look at what you're working with. It's life to me is like an episode of Chopped. You open the basket and you're like, no, I got to make something out of this. Like, so what do you got? So Rob had the dance parents. I have dog people, like you will know who your people are. It's easy. I think it's a lot easier for parents. People who have kids have tons of opportunity to get in front of people. There's one guy, and there's probably lots of people who do this. He just brings a big box of donuts and a box of Joe down to the elementary school the first Monday of every month. And maybe he sticks a branded sticker on them. I don't know how you let people know who brought it. There's no, mystery in that. But like just once a month, keeps bringing the stuff down. Now, is someone going to call you Monday afternoon and be like, will you sell my house? No, probably not. But eventually and actually, I want to go back to what you said. You said, while we're doing these events, people get to see how you operate and what you do and how you do it. They also get to see who you are and how you do what you do. Like, where does it come from? Why? Like, you're fun. Like Rob, like I gave Rob, I think you're fun, but maybe you're not, I'm not sure. But like doing a beer and cookie tasting is super fun. And that shows that the other parents that you've got a sense of humor, but you're also very organized. You've got good ideas. Part of the objective is to sell more cookies, which is good for your kids and good for the whole troop. But you've got to think about who you are too. So you might not, everybody on this call might not be goofy or have that vibe. So you got to know who you are. If you're a little bit more like, not like that, like opposite me, which isn't bad. There's a lot of good that my husband is opposite me. You might be more likely to like his hobby. He's really passionate about two things, cycling and golf. And he's a great teacher, like really good teacher. If he was going to do something, he could do like a golf clinic for kids, or he could do a golf clinic. He does really, really well with older women. So he could do a women's golf clinic and just go in a nice safe space and maybe, have a little luncheon afterwards. You can do that. Or maybe, and he's actually led group rides for biking. He just leads them. You don't necessarily, of course, we have a branded jersey, we have, so it's in there, but it's not in your face. But everybody knows that guy from Clancy and Castano Builders, leads bike rides sometimes. And that is just another opportunity for someone who might not, want to have beer or whatever.
Totally. And I love what you talk about is there's something to this idea of things that show appreciation, because then that's really like, if you're nervous that it's going to look opportunistic, if you're doing something to show appreciation, and in my eyes, it almost never looks opportunistic. That's totally different. And the other thing that Katie talks about too that I love is there's a lot to be said for these events, and they're fantastic. But if you're not at the place where you're really comfortable with the event just yet, like, you can do this on a small scale. You can meet buyers and like give them a few of your koozies. We used to, when I first started at the company I was at before, we had mugs created, and like agents would fill them with candy and stuff like that. And the first time they met the buyer, they'd give them the mug with like candy or hot chocolate or whatever was in it. And it's just a sign of appreciation. It's something that you can give them. Now, are you like thinking that they're going to go sit at Starbucks and drink from your mug? Probably not. Is that going to win their business? Maybe, but most likely not. But
this is something I really want, especially new agents, to understand. You have got to again, it's attached to the activity, not the outcome. You've just got to crank it out. Just go out there, give, flow. And then it bounces back off that distant wall and starts flowing back to you like a tidal wave. It takes time, but you just got to push and fill it up. And then it comes back to you.
Absolutely.
There was something that you said that was important.
I think everything else is important.
So if you're listening to this call or re-listening to it, and you're like, what did you really tell me again? What you did when you had no money? Because how do you do an event without money? I can't answer that question because you can get lots of things donated. But if you have enough money for a stamp, okay? So sit down and do the old-fashioned thing. There's a lot of like old-fashioned, like traditional marketing things that I detest and will never do. But the one I will always do is write a thank you note. And here's why. Obviously, we've all been through like how nice it is to get a written note because we don't get written notes anymore, yada, yada. That's all good. But just the act of sitting there and thinking about like, who am I grateful for? Remember I told you I was like in the darkest time of my life. The only thing that kept me getting out of bed besides that baby that I had by mistake. Not really mistake. Bonus baby. Bonus baby.
You won't tell.
Oh, that's another story. But she's so awesome. But was thinking about what I was grateful for, and then getting a note and writing it and sending it to someone. So the act of thinking of it lightens your heart, makes you feel hopeful and happy. Then you send it out and you forget about it. And then my mom, who I sent a thank you note, goes, honey, that was so cute. You didn't have to send me that. I see you every day. But like, she appreciated it. It meant something to her. Now I planted the seed for another happy moment in my life. Maybe, again, I can't be attached to her acknowledging it, but I know someone is opening a letter out there and it makes them feel good because I send it out. And that got me going, got me out of bed. And let me tell you, can't do a lot of work still in bed. I had to get up out of bed, and that really helps. And if you just build on those kinds of activities, you're not just getting out of bed. I'm like out, I'm at the gym at 5:30 in the morning. Like, this stuff just fires you up.
Absolutely. And I think the handwritten note I love. I was like, it was like beaten into me as a kid that you had to write the handwritten notes and thank yous and things like that. And it's something I'm super grateful for. But my mom used to always get on me like, it's too late. You have to do it right away. And my feeling about a handwritten note is, yes, that is a good practice. But if the sentiment is there, if like the feeling is there, it's really never too late to write the note, because it shows that you're still thinking about that. I think you should acknowledge if you were late to write the note or something. So literally, like, if you're sitting in your office today, pick up 5 notes and just write them to people that you appreciate something that they've done recently for you.
Anybody.
You're right. It could be anybody, because it's that idea of surprise and delight. It's that idea of showing your appreciation. It's that idea of being engaged with other people. I love it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's easy to do. And don't just think about business context, just think about anybody. And it feeds you. I know, I promise you, because I had the same feeling when I listened to this kind of advice before. There are people going, yeah, but what's going to pay my bills today? Dude, I don't know. The work you did 3 months ago, like, what's your problem? Don't complain to me that you don't have business today. You're not going to get a closing today.
Right.
I can't get you a closing today. You might need to get a part-time job to get things started. And believe me, I've had my share of part-time jobs.
Absolutely. I mean, I love what you're saying, though. It's the actions that you're doing today are what's going to bring you business in 2-3 months. It's not the actions that you're doing today are going to bring you business tomorrow. You have to stay on it. And frankly, y'all, that's why the realtor curve goes like this. Because when we're busy, nobody is up here spending time writing handwritten notes and showing their appreciation because they're dealing with all the people up here. But down here, all of a sudden you do, and then you go back up here. But if you can stay consistent, the key, and again, this goes back to like time management, which we've talked about in the past, you've got to find a way to carve out time for these important activities that are going to continue to fill your pipeline and continue to bring you business. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I think this is so fantastic, and I love this idea of being active in your community, is this is something you're doing whether you're busy or not.
You're there. You're driving to
he likes it or not.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that would be his choice for a Tuesday night activity if he had a choice, but he's going whether he has a choice or not. And so my feeling about that is that's a great way to find and carve out that time because that's where you are. Like it's where you're going to be regardless of how busy you are. Now, you know, hitting the phones, doing all of those things, that sometimes lags when you're busy. So keep all that in mind. So before I let Katie go, I think you guys would be remiss if you didn't ask her some questions. I mean, you have some top talent here that is openly sharing. I'm going to ask her one more question, but make sure you drop some stuff in the chat and I'll check for it as soon as she's done with this question. So Katie, one of the things that you've done, I believe more recently, or I maybe just came across it more recently, so I do apologize if you've been doing it for a while, is you have this Cape House show, which I think is cool. And it's been a way for you to leverage your community involvement on social and now even on your website as well, where you're doing it through video. So talk to me a little bit about how you think video can really build off of this strategy.
If you're not, you must. I don't care. Just do it. Just freaking do it. In fact, my challenge is to everybody is like, finish this call and pick up your phone and shoot a video. And it's the easiest thing in the world. It is the easiest thing. Don't you tell me it's not. And I can hear people going, oh no, I look terrible. Because here's the deal. You're going to suck the first time. It's like the first pancake. You're like, ooh, it's not that great. Well, it still tastes okay. Your first video is not going to be awesome. But if you never do it, you must do it. You can't compete unless you're doing at least a little bit of video. So, well, how do you do it? Well, first you've got to figure out, well, what are you going to talk about? And that's actually the easy part, believe it or not. First, you could Google blog ideas because it's the same idea. What the things that you would blog about are the same things that you would talk about in a video. And Katie Lance has tons of that stuff if you want to go to her website. But it's like, it's a Google away. So figure out what you want to talk about and then don't worry about gear. I did just get a ring light, so I'm feeling very fancy, but truly this is all I've used. And right now I'm using my computer, the camera computer. So, and that's generally what I use. So topics are easy to come across. One of the things people say to find, how do you find a topic? It's like, well, what do you get asked all the time? What if you're a brand new agent though, and you don't know anything?
And nobody asks you anything.
Nobody asks me anything. But the fact is you do know stuff. In fact, you know the most recent, the most up-to-date stuff that's out there. You have been given the cutting edge of what's happening out in real estate, in real estate law and regulations. And it's right at the top of your mind. So pick something that you were like, you know what, did you guys know what a hectare is? Like, that's weird stuff that comes up in the real estate test. You could even do, like, again, I come from kind of a goofy angle, but I would even say weird stuff that I found on the real estate test. And that gets people to know your personality. It also gets them to know that you remember what's on that test. it also gets them to know that there's a lot to know about real estate. This isn't just hanging out a sign and, turning over, houses and collecting a check. There's a lot of liability and, important knowledge to know, and math and all that stuff. So that, if you're brand new, there's your video. 3 things I never expected to learn in a real estate class. And in terms of format, you introduce yourself. You don't have to call your show anything. Just say, I'm Katie Clancy, and I'm here. I got something to say. Here's 3 things I didn't think I would learn, didn't expect to learn in the real estate test. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. If you want to know any more of the things I found on the real estate test, come find me at www.katieblah. And now you're done. And now you've met people, because you know what? People think they know you after they've seen you on video a few times. In fact, we had some really, as you guys did, I think, had some rough weather. Mm-hmm. I had people actually emailing me or messaging me on Facebook like, are you okay? I'm like, don't know you. Is this person? I didn't know why strangers were asking. It was very nice. I'm like, well, I'm good. It's like, oh my gosh, they know me from the videos. Oh my God, this works. And it does. And video works in a lot of other places too. I won't get into that, but BombBomb is something that everybody, I think, should explore, not just for work either. It's a very effective communication tool when you need it.
And I think video is great too, like about these real estate topics, but I think video is a fantastic way to show that like you are out in the community. So like I hate to keep using the oyster example. I just think the oyster thing's so funny. But if it's like, if Katie's out on a Friday night and she's like picking up oysters for an oyster roast that she's having that weekend, she can pop on a quick video and like advertise, what's his name? John's business. Yeah. And like John is jazzed because his business just got shouted out to Katie's audience. He thinks it's fun because she's having fun with it. I think that is a really, really great way.
Totally simple. Totally
utilize video.
Yeah.
So, Katie, we have a question. It looks like it's from Lynn. So what is your favorite branded item that you have for your brand?
I really like my sticker. It's a great thing. I hand it out sometimes instead of a business card, and people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. I have given people a challenge, like to post where they stick it. I've won in Ireland at least, and I've been various assorted places. I also had a T-shirt made, but that's because I ended up with a really good marketing group who created this for me. So it's a really good icon that I can use. So I have a T-shirt that I wore it in New York, and it just has the logo there. And I like that because I can wear it in a video, and that just goes everywhere. Mm-hmm. I can give it to other people. So I would say those kinds of things that but it has to be if you have a weird logo or just like if it just isn't cool, it has to be cool. If you have some element of cool, this is my husband's logo. He didn't even put names on it. It's a building company on Cape Cod, and I think it conveys that pretty well. So something that goes on something and travels. So I like the sticker and I like the T-shirt. Again, it has to be something someone wants to wear though. So be honest with yourself, get some feedback about it before you do that.
Yeah, I think, so I'll kind of piggyback off that just on my own. So my favorite thing that I have is my sticker too, because I feel like I give it to people and they put it on whatever it is that they want to put it on. And it kind of gives me a longer shelf life where if I give them a T-shirt or a koozie or whatever, it's kind of like just in that setting, are they going to use it? Which is fine, obviously. I mean, people go to bars and use koozies all the time, and like, it's nothing against koozie. I like the sticker because for the same reason, it translates to whatever item it is that they're carrying.
Exactly. I think the sticker idea is good for across the board, but for those of you who have like really like niche lives, like it's really something specific in your life and you'd love to engage more with those people, find something in that niche that connects, like a dog collar or, something that is right in line with your people, because that really sets you apart and very noticeable.
Yeah, that's great. So this is a little bit off topic, but I love it. So you're a busy lady. You got lots going on. What do you think is the best way to prioritize your work and kind of as a follow-up, especially when you're new and you're trying to kind of drum up business and clients and stuff like that?
Well, first of all, you need to start early. If you don't have clients yet, like if you don't have a buyer that you're working with or a listing that you're working with yet, you have got to, the first 2 hours that you're awake are the most productive. You probably already talked about all this time stuff, but like really own your morning. And I'm going to start with the same stuff I always start with. Get your freaking head on straight. So journal for 10 minutes. You have the time. And my coach said once, just write down your affirmations and your gratitudes. And I thought he was full of crap. And then I sold $11 million worth of property. Okay. So it works. So get your head on straight, and then pick, if you're like, I don't have enough time to make calls and I don't have enough time to make cards, you're not going to survive. Okay. You have to find time to reach out to people. But if you can only do one, just do one. Do one card and one call, but do it every day. Consistency is the absolute, it's the absolute key. And in terms of contact, the closer you can get like belly to belly with someone, the better. The next would be a video. The next would be a phone call. The next would be a text. The next would be, I guess, a letter. And then it really diminishes from
Telegram.
Yeah, telegram.
A dove. Something like a dove at some point. Absolutely.
Did you hear that? Yeah. But get as close to people as you can, as often as you can.
Very cool. Well, Katie, I cannot thank you enough. This has been, I've learned so much in this hour, and it's been one of my favorite episodes for sure. If folks want to follow up with you or find you, where can they find you?
Come to thekpostteam.com, and you can just fire an email right in there and I'll get it. Yeah, just come connect with me there. And find me on Facebook.
Awesome.
So just my Katie Clancy on Facebook, and also the K-Post Team is my biz page. Borrow, copy, great. If I can help, I'm happy to. And ask questions.
Awesome. Well, I love it. Katie, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck at your event. Y'all, I expect y'all to donate even just a little bit to her. I'm going to put the link in the notes of our call. Definitely, I'm also going to hold you guys accountable because I'm Facebook friends with most, if not all of you, that you are going to take her advice and post some sort of a video today.
Oh, yeah.
As you should. I'm going to tag Katie in your videos.
Oh, yeah.
Comment in them as well. So thank you again, Katie. It is always a pleasure spending time with you. I know I'll see you soon.
Yes.
But this has been absolutely fabulous.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's so great, and I love what you're doing. You guys made a really good choice to be on this.
Well, thank you, Katie. All right, guys. Well, until next month. Next month, we're going to talk all about negotiation. We actually have a negotiating expert that's going to join us, who has trained FBI negotiators. He's really cool. I know, super exciting. Join us next month. This will be up on your dashboard by this afternoon. And other than that, just shoot us some questions if you have any. But again, thank you so much, Katie. Until next time, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.